Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Kaspa. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now, before we actually get into the TA, I want to quickly mention the donation link down below in the description. Feel free to support the children of Gaza. Right now they're going through a genocide, so please make sure to donate. Even a few dollars is going to help out. We're dabbling here with crypto, so we have spare money to work with. So a few dollars isn't going to hurt your budget, but of course you can donate it only if you want to. And now let's jump into the TA. Taking a look at the daily chart, as you can see, the price has been very overextended for a few weeks now, or almost 2 weeks, I would say, and we broke above this major resistance level between 0.052 down to 5 cents. This was our resistance back in August, in September, in October, and then in November we broke out. So coming back down to 5 cents, technically speaking, would be an amazing thing, because we want to retest that as support, come back down to that zone, and have a nice bounce from there essentially. But we don't know if that's going to be happening. We don't know if we will go lower, for example, because if there is a black swan event, if there's a massive crash across the markets, then of course altcoins will start bleeding. Now we do have another support trend line that was previously our resistance. So this local high here in August and in September created this ascending teal trend line, and we broke above it here, and coming back down to retest it as support is something that we can do. Now if we take a look here on the daily chart, we can take a look at the pullback that we could be expecting. So from that local high down to the teal trend line, that is a 61% move to the downside, and from the local high all the way up to the bottom of this block here, that's a 66% pullback. Now we have seen these sort of pullbacks before with Kaspa, and this was, for example, a 71% pullback. So this is possible. Just like we came back and retested this block here as support, the exact same way we can come back down and retest this block over here and have a bounce from there, just like we had a bounce from here and off we went. That's just what I'm expecting from a technical analysis standpoint. Now, I don't have any Kaspa myself, so I don't follow the project that closely in terms of fundamentals and news, but if there are any bullish news coming out regarding the project that could lead to more pumps during the next few weeks, but obviously you guys would know more than I do because you probably follow the news more closely. Taking a look at the daily RSI, you can see we are very overextended right now, and it does look like we are printing some sort of a bearish divergence on the daily, where the RSI is printing a lower high and the price action is printing a higher high. And this is a bearish divergence on the daily chart, so we could at least see a pullback down to the 20 EMA here, or back to the white trend line that we have sitting at roughly 8 cents, and that came from this small little retest that we had back in November 14th. We came back down to 8 cents and we had a bounce from there, so we could come back down to 8 cents once again. So keep this price in mind if you really want to enter as soon as possible. Of course, over here right now, buying into Kaspa is not the smartest thing, because you're essentially going to be buying the high before we start retracing. Now we could continue pumping for a short while, but I don't think, and I think you agree, I don't think we'll be pumping for eternity. There is going to be a retracement, and believe it or not, there's going to be a 60 to 70% retracement at some point. So just being bullish for the sake of being bullish is not really healthy, but I'm not saying this thing is going to crash, or we're going to come back down to these May 2023 lows, because I think that's way past gone. Kaspa has been performing very well. We'll take a look at the weekly chart now to see what we can look for on. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. Where the 20 be at by the time we start coming back down, so you could bounce off the 20 EMA and move forward. Historically speaking, the 20 EMA has been a very good indicator and has been a very good buying price. So you can take a look at this touch over here back in November 2022, back in January 2023, and then we dumped below the 20 EMA briefly in May up until June 2023, and then once again we had a nice little wick down to the 20 EMA on the weekly in July earlier this year. So that's historically been a very nice entry point. So if we get back down to the 20 EMA, that's a great area for you to buy. If we continue going below that, feel free to dollar cost average in even more. And as you can see, this white trend line here is sitting exactly at this resistance that we had created back in August and September at 5 cents. So this is just begging for a nice bounce, but we don't know if we are going to get that. If we do, make sure you have some buy limit orders set up in advance. That way you can catch the prices and catch these low prices in case there's a quick wick, just like the one we had here in May. And in case there's a wick and you're not following the charts 24/7, you're asleep, you're at work, the price, you're going to get that price, right? You're going to buy the tokens at 5 cents and you'll be able to get filled even though you're asleep. So I would set it slightly above that support level, just because a lot of people are going to pile in on 5 cents on the dot, but you don't want to have round numbers in your buy limit order. So you want to put it, for example, at 0.0512. That way the price dumps and reverses, even without touching the exact support, you still are going to get filled. So even if the price doesn't come back down to the exact support level, you still have a high chance of getting filled versus having, being piled up with a bunch of people at 5 cents. And even if it reaches 5 cents, there's a chance you're not going to get filled because there are a lot of orders going to get filled before you. The price will reverse and then you're forced to buy higher. That's pretty much it for the price action here on the weekly. Let's take a look at the RSI. So the RSI here is going into the overbought once again. This is definitely not where you want to be buying for the long term because you are already sitting at the index of 87. So the last time we were up this high was back in March this year. We were sitting up and the index of 94, and then we saw this 70% pullback. Could we see another 60 to 70% pullback after we get to the exact same RSI? It is quite possible. So buying over here is not something that I will be doing, my friends. This is very, very overextended, very overbought. The stochastic reflects that, and the MACD, as you can see, is absolutely overextended. And once something like this happens, you just don't want to be getting into this. If you really want to get into it, that's fine. Of course, you can buy whatever you want. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just saying personally, I would not be getting into this at the current prices. Let me know what you think of Kaspa. Let me know if you're bullish on the project. This has been destroying the charts, absolutely destroying expectations. And, it's great. If you're making money with Kaspa, you bought in somewhere in 2022. I'm glad for you. Hopefully you'll make some good money and even more gains in the next bull market. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.